Let's talk about SummerSlam. Let's talk about what happened last night. The fact that, yes, we have a brand new Intercontinental Champion. His name is Dolph Ziggler. Congratulations go out to Dolph Ziggler for becoming a two-time Intercontinental Champion. And Miz, you might as well go ahead and go back to Hollywood and look for your face because you left it over there when you left. Okay? Now, the whole thing with AJ Lee and Paige. First of all, great match. Digged it, loved it. And for the fact that Paige actually beat AJ in the middle of the ring, and I mean beat AJ in the middle of the ring, I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed. And on her birthday, how awesome is that? Happy birthday to Paige, and congratulations for winning the WWE Divas Championship. That was awesome. Now, the whole flag match involving Rusev and involving Jack Swagger, I am a disgraced American, and I'm not blaming Zep Coulter. I'm not blaming Jack Swagger. I just can't believe that I had to sit back, relax, and you got to admit, Jack Swagger's a tough individual, and he didn't even tap out. He just passed out from the pain, and it showed me the toughness that Jack Swagger has. And to me personally, we haven't seen the last of this feud between Rusev and Jack Swagger. I see a whole lot more to this feud than meets the eye. All I can say is you could play that Russian crap on SummerSlam. You could play it, and you know something? You know what funny? The funny part is, when I heard that song, the first thing that came to my head was Rocky IV. Yes, Rocky IV. Do you remember that part of the movie when he was there? You know, here comes Rocky coming down in front of all the Soviets and everything else like that, and then here comes the Russian coming in, you know, Ivan Drago, you know, comes out and, you know, does the whole thing. And then you hear that song, everybody's standing at attention, you hear that song. And when I heard that song at SummerSlam, I said, my God, we're reliving this whole thing from Rocky IV all over again, except this is sort of, you know, in reverse type situation. So nonetheless, I see a great feud happening between Rusev and Jack Swagger in the near future. The main event, cannot wait for that. It should be awesome. Let's also talk about, let's see, what other match am I thinking about? Let's see, the other match. I think we went to the Lumberjack match. As a matter of fact, yeah, the Lumberjack match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And, you know, I pretty much predicted that it was going to be a great matchup. And I thought Dean Ambrose for sure was going to win the whole match. But, man, it was so fucking awesome. You could not believe the shit that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins were doing. I mean, Dean Ambrose pretty much was a cannonball all over the fucking place. That's what he was. He went from the top rope and crashed on the fucking Lumberjacks. He went out and went after Seth Rollins about I don't know how many times. And then, sorry about that. And then all of a sudden, you know, Seth Rollins tried to escape, and some of the Lumberjacks did their job and stopped him. The same thing applied with the other Lumberjacks that tried to get Dean Ambrose and brought him back into the ring. And in the end, the moment you saw Corporate Kane, you knew straight up when Corporate Kane came out, he wasn't there for the support of what's best for business. He was there to make sure that Seth Rollins won. And sure enough, that's what happened, because he comes up there and he tries to stop the referee or stop Dean Ambrose or whatever, and then Goldust gets in his face, Kane punches him out, and then all of the Lumberjacks go completely insane, jumping on this guy, jumping on that guy, jumping on that guy, jumping on that guy, and then Dean Ambrose is not looking. Here's Seth Rollins with a fucking briefcase in his hand, and he, BAM! He hits Dean Ambrose, lays him out. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins. Is still Money in the Bank winner and all that other good stuff. So all I can tell you straight up is, just like Rusev and just like Jack Swagger, the feud between the two former members of the Shield is not over by a long shot. I promise you that. The war has just begun, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's move on to the next matchup. And I was the one that predicted it, and I was right on the money on this one. I said that at Battleground, when Chris Jericho made his return, he would come back and he would beat Bray Wyatt in the middle of the ring. But the next time when they meet, the results will be totally different. And I was right on the money when I said that. So Bray Wyatt put on a good show. The same thing applied with Chris Jericho. All the fans were chanting for Bray Wyatt, and all the fans were chanting for Y2J. And at the end, it made that one mistake that Chris Jericho made, and it cost him, and Bray Wyatt took advantage of the whole situation. Bray Wyatt wins over Y2J Chris Jericho, beats him in the middle of the ring, and I see big things happening. But if you think the feud between Bray Wyatt and Y2J Chris Jericho is over, you got another thing coming. Because very, very soon, maybe at Night of Champions or maybe at Hell in a Cell, they will meet one more time. And to me, personally, Y2J losing to Bray Wyatt one more time, it's best for business. You dig it, you understand it, you know how it goes. So congratulations to Bray Wyatt on his win over Y2J Chris Jericho. Now we go from this, and we go for this other matchup that took place. Another Divas match involving Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon. First of all, yes, Stephanie McMahon looked hot in her outfit. Stephanie looks very, very sexy. Stephanie, and this is just my opinion only, Stephanie McMahon, I wouldn't mind fucking the shit out of her if I had the opportunity. But then again, the main event is thinking more of something a little bit better than a wife that is with a COO of a company. I'm more of an individual that wants to go one-on-one with either Eva Marie, Summer Rae, or both of the Funkadactyls. That's just me, though, okay? That's just the main event. But anyways, the matchup against Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon. What was that ridiculous chant that I heard when Stephanie was in the ring? First of all, Stephanie was good in the ring. Stephanie was great in the ring. She was a whole lot better than she was 10 years ago. And the only thing that was funny about 10 years ago was that she couldn't wrestle worth the fucking crap. And yet the fans, this is the truth, the fans were chanting, "You still got it. You still got it." Really? Like Stephanie McMahon had it, right? Now don't get me wrong, I mean, she's hot as hell, but she never had it at all. Here's the truth, she never wrestled. Yeah, she's a McMahon, but she's also husband and wife to Triple H. And Triple H could have taught her anything, any move, anything, whether it's in the ring or in the bed. Trust me. Trust me. Okay? That is how it goes, okay? But in the end, the rumors were flying all over the place, and I heard it a few weeks ago, that there's a possibility that Nikki Bella could turn on her own sister. Now, I didn't want to believe it at first, but I was waiting. I was waiting for that calculating moment. That time, and just see it right there before my eyes. So, here's Triple H coming down the aisle like I expected on Twitter. Here's Triple H coming down the aisle, coming up on the apron and everything else like that. Here comes Nikki Bella, right? She doesn't really do anything yet. The referee is waiting for her to tap out because she's been put on the yes lock. Stephanie McMahon's being put on the yes lock right over here by Brie Bella. And then the referee gets pulled over by Triple H, all right? And then Brie Bella attacks Triple H. And then Nikki Bella goes on the other side of the ring. And then Brie Bella's on the other side of the ring. And Stephanie McMahon is in the middle. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw those three is hot lesbian sex action to happen at SummerSlam. The main event, can't wait for that. But it didn't happen. So what happens? Nikki Bella pulls Stephanie aside and knocks out her own sister. Now, to the audience and to everybody else, it's a shock. To me, I sort of saw it coming, and I asked myself, really? I mean, what could this possibly be? I mean, why is Nikki doing what she's doing? The only conclusion I could come up with is it has something to do with John Cena and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That was the thing that came to my mind. But we'll see. So Stephanie McMahon wins her match against Brie Bella, and now a feud begins between both of the Bella twins. And how long will this feud last? What? 3 months? 2 months? I give it a month, honestly. Okay? Great match. It just wasn't really the cup of tea that the main event was looking for. Okay? Now, let's move on to another great matchup of two great wrestlers. You got one side over here, a third-generation superstar, a 12, 13-time world champion. I believe his name is the Viper, Randy Orton, going one-on-one against the, what do they call him? The Superman, Mr. Superman, or what else they call him? They call him the Samoan Thor. That's what they refer to him as. Roman Reigns. And I tell you what, that matchup itself right there last night at SummerSlam was just awesome. I mean, I just looked at that matchup. Both Randy Orton and Roman Reigns put on a good performance. And at the very, very end, I thought in my mind that Randy Orton was going to beat Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. Because here I am seeing Randy Orton about to get speared at the hands of Roman Reigns, and then RKO comes and lands right on Roman Reigns, and it's over. SummerSlam is done. 1, 2, what the fuck? He got up. He got up from the RKO. Roman Reigns gets up from the RKO. Roman Reigns, Superman, if you will, gets up from the kryptonite. That's what happened. And then in the end, Roman Reigns had no choice but to hit the spear right through Randy Orton. 1, 2, 3, Randy Orton loses, and Roman Reigns is victorious, and eventually, in his future, he will have this in his possession. And very, very soon, it may be this year, it may be until WrestleMania. The bottom line is Roman Reigns could have this in his possession. He could be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That could possibly happen. Now, speaking of the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you know what? It's just crazy. You know what? This is a crazy year. So let me start off in the beginning. We start off with 2014, January, the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar beats the living hell out of the Big Show, lays him out flat on his ass, breaks him down to his foundation, and the Big Show is the big joke. That's what happened at the Royal Rumble. And then Brock Lesnar meets the challenge of The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. And everyone thought in their minds that Brock Lesnar was going to lose to The Undertaker. And if The Undertaker lost, he would be 22-0 at WrestleMania, and he would go on to face off against Sting at next year's WrestleMania, which is still happening. But instead, Brock Lesnar came in and shocked the world by hitting three F5s on The Undertaker. 1, 2, 3, Brock Lesnar is the man, is the one behind the one in 21-1. He beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which is still the most shocking moment in the history of not only WrestleMania, but in the history of the WWE. So now it all culminates to SummerSlam. It all culminates to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, John Cena and Brock Lesnar are no strangers to each other. They faced off against each other many, many times before, back in the day, 2003. But this is a different man. Brock Lesnar is a different individual. So Brock Lesnar beats the living hell out of John Cena at Extreme Rules in 2012. And Brock Lesnar tried everything in his power to beat John Cena. He laid him bloodied flat on his ass. And in the end, one mistake by Lesnar. One valiant mistake. He goes on loses to John Cena. 1, 2, 3.